Right, Place Beyond the Pines. Place Beyond the Pines is the film that follows the particularly critically acclaimed and well-received film Blue Valentine from the director Derek Cinephance. I may have pronounced that wrong. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce his second name. And there are similarities between the two films. It has the same raw intensity to the film. It's also, like Blue Valentine, it's incredibly powerful. But in some ways I think that Place Beyond the Pines is actually a superior film. I think you can see how the director's evolving. It seems to cover more. It seems to tell more and convey more, which after all is all that a film should do. It stars, of course, the very popular Ryan Gosling, who's in his usual mesmerising form in this. It's a very good character. It's a mixture. In some ways it could be seen as a mixture of characters he's played before. It has the isolate intensity of Drive, and the fragility of his character in Blue Valentine. Also stars Eva Mendes, who is terrific in this film. Eva Mendes can be variable, but she's usually a particularly good actress in roles where she needs to convey distress but do it in the way that is understated, which is really required for this role. Bradley Cooper is unbelievable. I mean, he's in a completely different realm really to what he's done before in the Hangover films, and it's the role that he plays could be done. You could grandstand really. Realise I haven't actually explained the plot yet. I apologise. Basically, Place Beyond Pines follows several characters and how their lives interlink, but initially follows Ryan Gosling's character, who is a particularly gifted motorcycle rider who goes from town to town with fares and does various tricks, sort of riding the, I don't know what it's actually called, the death cage, I suppose you'd call it. And he ends up having a child with Eva Mendes, and he comes back and he wants to look after this child, and things, I don't want to risk any spoilers, but things tend to go downhill from there. There is something, as I mentioned before, there's something with the rawness of the Derek Cinephance films, and the cinematography itself and the camera almost seems to be alive. It's got its own life to it. It stares into the actor's eyes in a way that's almost very Stanley Kubrick in its style. So, as I mentioned, you follow Ryan Gosling. It also covers the lives of a cop who's involved in his life, which is played by Bradley Cooper, and also Ray Lolita, who is most famous for his role in The Goodfellas in it, and he's in particularly menacing form, to say the least. And there's incredible tension throughout the film. It really, because it's a long film, it's 2.5 hours long, and usually sometimes a film like that you can feel, oh, it's dragging, but there wasn't one moment in this film where I felt that. It's also got some interesting up-and-coming actors. There's Daniel, I have to check I've got this right, Daniel Dehane, who was in The Chronicle, and I read an interesting article recently, sorry, I'm just checking I've got his name right, yes, sorry, Dane Dehane. Sorry, it's not very professional, but he's a new actor. This is the first film I've seen him, because I haven't actually seen him in Chronicle, but he's meant to be very good in that. and he's particularly brilliant in this. Actually, I think it's a difficult role that he has to play, and I think less young actor who wasn't up to the standard of Dane could have easily, it would have had a major impact on the film, but he handles a very complex role very well, and I think he's definitely an actor to look out for in the future. It's, I think, one of the main themes of the film, and arguably the film of, arguably Blue Valentine, is sort of exploring the fragility of human life and corruption, which sounds like a large theme, and it is, but I don't want you to think it's sort of distancing and aloof and arty intellectual crap, maybe, which some people, you know, particularly maybe think of films such as Terrence Malick, which you either love or you hate, but this is it's a very human drama. It's about, it doesn't distance itself, it's very involved, it's not an easy watch by any stretch of the imagination. I wouldn't go and see it if you're after a light-hearted comedy, but I think you'd probably be aware of that going into the film. There are brief moments of violence, which aren't actually very graphic compared to the standards that we're used to, but the realism of the violence is quite, you know, has quite an impact. But it's probably, I think you'll struggle to find a better film this year. I mean, on so many levels. I mean, you can engage with it at an artistic level. Also, some of the action scenes are amazing, terrific scenes. Shot very, I mean, similar. You wonder whether, you know, he had a conversation with the name has come out of my head. The director of Drive, about winding Refn. Sorry, I'll have to. You can either comment about that, but the action scenes are very reminiscent of Drive, in the way that it's shot, and very refreshing to see that. They're very in your face, in a good way. But overall, I think it's a film that you should definitely go and see. It's a very powerful film, and it will have you thinking about it for a long while after it's shot. I really look forward to what's coming next for Derek Cinéfrance. Okay, well, feel free to comment, you know, argue. Okay, goodbye. I'll see you in my next video.